Sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Feel the rap or open it up.
Exactly, listen to Sean. Right, and Cash Out's the easy way to get money transferred when you're out with friends. So, hop into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Y'all better hop on in the back and get on board because we are rolling tonight. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Fantasy Reports on Shady Sports Network. I'm your bus driver, Cedric Green. I got my co-pilot, Justin T. What up, Justin?
Not a whole lot. It was a pretty good weekend, and I'm looking to get raring to go on these topics and discuss it out with you guys. Got some big milestones achieved in some sports for some players, and there's been some, ho-hum news in other leagues for other teams and players. So we'll cover that here in a little bit.
Right, exactly. Like I said, we got quite a bit for you. We're going to go through the NFC South to keep the football topics going, touch a little bit on the UFL, talk Nuggets, Timberwolves, and of course we're going to touch on some records being broken and some of the teams making the national championships that we don't usually touch on. So we'll get right into it. We got some good stuff we feel like for you tonight, so roll with us. We got this bus ride and we got the windows down and we're just cruising. So guys, lock in, put your seatbelts on, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button. If you don't normally follow us, head over to Shady Sports Network and check out the other stuff that we do too. You know how we do it. Before we get right into it, we go ahead and get this promo going. So I'll go ahead and get that rolling, and then we'll get back and get it going, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, y'all. It seems like as we get closer to the draft, we run out of news in the NFL, but not quite, right? Because it slows down and picks back up. But hey, it's okay. We keep it rolling. We just like the football you now see nowadays. We're year round, man. We got spring football, we got fall football, we got in betweens and the outers as well, keeping summer covered. So we'll keep you up with news. It is what it is. It may not be the most breaking news, but hey, we're here to talk about it and we're here to keep you informed and get you ready for your fantasy team. I know I got a dynasty draft coming up in a couple of weeks. I know you were saying you got one coming up in a couple of weeks as well too. Yeah, so we just keep the news coming with the NFL, but there's other stuff we'll touch on. So, we're doing our division rankings. We did the AFC North, we did the NFC North, and then this weekend we are doing the NFC South. We got Justin's way too early division rankings. So, Justin, NFC South, not quite the most glamorous division, right?
No, I think it's probably the weakest of all the divisions, but it's also got the opportunity for the highest growth and the biggest uprising stocks for values of fantasy assets to have on these teams, and just for the teams in general as they accrue talent in the draft and try to change their fortunes for 2025.
Right? Yeah, no, like you said, just in general, fantasy-wise, I think there's so much upside in this division. Even if you just look at Tampa Bay and Atlanta, I think there's a lot of points to be had fantasy-wise there. And I see Bryce Young and Carolina coming along, so who knows what their receivers are going to be looking like next season. I'm interested to see when we dive into that. I don't think we saw any of them in the top 25 list.
No.
The receivers. But I feel like this division is really, really run heavy. Like you see running backs all across the board in every team in this division that you would take and put on your fantasy team. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
For sure.
Yeah, so You kind of, no, it's way too early, but you had your way too early ranking. Where did you rank these teams at before I throw it up here? Go ahead and.
I had the Saints topping off the cellar there, just hanging out at the bottom. I mean, they're in salary cap hell. They got a lot of answers to be addressed here in the draft coming up. What direction they want to go under Kellen Moore and what identity they want to form of being a strong defense or a high-flying passing offense, or like other teams in this division, a bruising back running game and kind of control and manage games there. I don't think that it's going to be a situation for the Saints that they go and make the playoffs this year, unfortunately. I think they have a tall mountain to climb, even though they're in one of the weaker divisions of the NFL. But respectively so, I think I see them doing around 4 or 5 wins, possibly, fighting for that top 5 pick in the draft for next year. Just trying to establish themselves and what they want to try to do under this new coaching staff.
So kind of like what they did last year. I mean, minus the fact that they did come out in that 4-game win streak last year.
I don't know if it's going to be like that, where they get all their wins out of the way in the first month of the year. They sprinkle them out throughout the whole season. But, the playing in the Superdome is tough, or whatever they call it nowadays. I think they changed the name again or something. But it's never easy to play down there. And, they're a prideful bunch of players. So I think they'll make it an honest effort and give it their best. But as far as fantasy assets go, I think I'm really still just investing in Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed. Out of those two, like those are the two players that I think have the most high ceilings for the Saints coming out of that team. I think a sneaky good value pick for later in drafts for you for fantasy would be Kendre Miller. If he stays healthy, he could be a good depth running back piece there. He's a young back that's been mauled with injuries to start his career, but they drafted him with the idea of him potentially starting or having an impact on this squad, and I think it's a make or break year for him. So something, if you got an extra spot at the end of your bench towards the later rounds of the draft, you're looking to take a shot on, I think that'd be a good player to just throw a flyer on. If it doesn't work out, he's one of the last picks. You can just dump him to the waiver wire, let someone else try.
There we go. What do you think about a Brandon Cooks as like a later pick? How would you feel?
I would definitely invest in him. I mean, I think the wide receiver room, I would invest in Brandon Cooks, Shaheed, and then Olave. In that order. And that's primarily because I can't trust Chris Olave's health. I mean, as productive as he has been, Derek Carr has, consistently thrown him hospital balls, and it's been costing him games and his health. So we've seen the big play ability from Rashid Shaheed, and he had a lot of flex value for teams last year. And I think Brandon Cooks will just give you a solid floor or flex option there at wide receiver, that he'd be a good value pick, like you said, at the end of your drafts to just throw in there and use in case of emergency, like an injury, or if you weren't paying attention to bye weeks in your draft and you needed an emergency player, he'd be just great to fill in that spot.
Yeah. So what about like a Taysom Hill?
I don't know. I think I'm fading him in this offense this year because I don't think we didn't see Kellen Moore use a lot of the tight end when he was with the Cowboys or with the Chargers or even with the Eagles. I mean, yes, they had great tight ends there, but they weren't like hitting fantasy ceilings. They weren't top 5 tight ends. They weren't, top echelon players that you needed to have on your team. So with Taysom Hill, he's not just a pure edge tight end. He's a gadget. He's like a jack of all trades player, and he has that sneaky value as far as like a utilitarian player on your roster, but he's nobody that I'm investing like that's my tight end one. That's what I'm going to go in with the season, and that's what I'm going to rely on getting me points in all my matchups. If you need like a backup tight end, I'd say that Taysom Hill is a good emergency option to have on your bench in case you absolutely need him. But I think with his age and the new offense coming in here and what sort of offensive scheme they're going to implement, I think it really leaves too many question marks or too much risk for you to invest in for your fantasy teams to make a championship run.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, if you're just filling holes, why not? But yeah, if you're really trying to look for something, I would not. I mean, granted, I mean, if you need a
But I
flex,
will say in
I
the
pick him
past,
up later as a
I've been
flex.
that guy who's started Taysom and gotten the goose eggs, and I've played against him when he's gotten those 30, 40-point games, and it's like, come on, man.
Yep, and he gets it in so many different ways. So it'll be interesting to see how Kellen Moore uses him. All right, then your next team up above the Saints.
Yeah, I got the Panthers. I think they're rising out of the cellar. They're coming up out of their own. They got this fresh young talent. I think we could agree that Bryce Young showed some promise last year. He showed some capability that he can, after a benching and a good growing up moment, he can operate an offense and become a leader to that team in the quarterback room. And I think he'll take a step up this year in fantasy, and the pieces around him will flourish for that, like Xavier Legette. And if they bring back Adam Thielen, whoever they end up getting in this draft, and I think Chuba Hubbard would thrive too in this offense. So I got the Panthers sitting at third because their defense is middle of the road. I mean, it's not bad. It's not terrible, but they got good young pieces in there to keep games respectively close and honest. I mean, you saw them last year, give the Falcons and the Buccaneers their best shot in divisional games and really kind of shooken up that divisional standings towards the end because they're stealing games and, getting wins where they needed them.
I see Carolina like Chicago, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I really like their team, and they are so promising. It's just like they just need a couple things to hit, right? I feel
that's
like
a good way to put it. They're like the
hit.
Chicago Bears of the NFC South. Like, they got a high ceiling if they hit it, but they got like a reality floor of like they're going to be where they're going to be, and if everything doesn't fall their way.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of weeks last season where I was like, dang, should I put Chubb in? I don't know. But when I did put him in, I was always happy too. It's just I had better options, I feel, but sometimes it was like, do I have better options? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, he was looking really good.
I think Chuba is my top prospect coming out of Carolina for their offense this year for fantasy purposes. They shipped out Miles Sanders to the Cowboys. Jonathan Brooks is not going to be healthy and ready to go for a good majority, if not all of this season. So he's got no competition there in the backfield. It's going to be his backfield to lose and his backfield to gain and take over. I can see him being a top 12 running back in fantasy football this year easily, and he could be carrying you to championships in your running back one spot because of the workload and the volume and then the continuity with that offense. They got Dave Canales still there, Bryce Young as a quarterback, and a lot of those offensive pieces have stayed the same. So it's another year of experience and comfortability and continuity, and that can only help breed success and on offense if they're, shaking it up a little bit, making it spicy and adding some new things to it to get the edge on their opponents. And I think as well as the step that Bryce Young will hopefully take this year in becoming a better quarterback option for fantasy purposes, I don't think he's necessarily there yet to be your quarterback one and starting him week in, week out in your matchups, but a fine option to have as your backup quarterback for sure. And another one on your bench roster just to stash in case if, bye weeks or injuries come up, just to keep an eye on, even if he isn't sitting on waivers in your leagues after the drafts happen, just, keep an eye on because one thing we do know about the fantasy landscape in the NFC South is those defenses bleed fantasy points to opposing players. So that the matchups of they usually were targets like, these guys are playing the Saints or this guy's playing the Falcons or this guy's playing, the Panthers. I'm going to get, at least a couple dozen points because those defense aren't the strongest in that division. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're acquiring talent for your fantasy football teams this year in drafts, is that an investment in the NFC South is likely a positive investment because of just how high scoring those games can be and how weak those defenses are still.
Man, you could not have said it best. I mean, even still, look at, you know what I mean? Look at the bottom two teams, the Saints and the Panthers. They still have like 2, maybe 3 players that I would feel, pretty okay with having in my lineup, at least having in my team, at least, maybe not in my starting lineup every week, but like, those running backs, Kamara, Hubbard, I'm definitely starting if I have them. Like you said, Leggett, I'm looking to go to him if I have him. Maybe not so much as far as receivers from the Saints, but gosh, man, like, still getting points from these teams, even though they're looking at the bottom of the barrel on the bottom of the division, as some would say. I just saw a post on X that said, should the NFL abolish divisions?
Well, for their sake, they would love that.
Right? Yeah, you know what I mean? But that's kind of like the whole take away the division leaders having, having home field advantage in the playoffs just because they're division leaders. So
it would definitely shake up playoff seeding for sure.
Yeah, man. Dang, is a Joker about to be unanimous MVP? Sorry, I'm just screen shuffling. Let's take a promo break really quick.
Because it's a conversation we had. We had one with someone over there talking about how SGA needs to be the MVP, and I was like, just stop that noise.
Because it's been the best player on the best team, and it's like, so wait, Joel, the 76ers are not the best. They weren't even the best team in the East when Joel Embiid won, first and foremost, and that's the year the Nuggets won the championship. So that's the last time a player besides the Joker won the award. When Giannis won it, yeah, he was the best player on the best team because
Jokic was just taking that year off. It's fine.
Exactly. So whatever. Let's take a promo break. And
we'll get back into the other two teams in the division and go from there.
There we go.
How are you? Bring them things, bring them things. I call the plug, bring them things. I bring them things. That's money. That's cash up.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody, to the bandwagon.
Woo!
Hopefully you made it to the bus stop on Thursday and checked out Seth and his buddy's new show. That was popping. My son was enjoying it. We're bebopping into the tunes and then enjoying some good conversation.
Yeah, man. Wait until that show evolves. It's gonna be good, man. I see it like Cameron's sports show. Kind of have those vibes. So we're gonna get there. We got things in the talks. We're gonna do some live episodes, do some live music. Hopefully, get some other musicians on with us. It's gonna be fun, man. Yeah, man. Come to the bus stop. I guess we're just doing a lot around here. But tonight we're doing fantasy reports, and we're going through the division of the NFC South. And
so if you feel free, thanks for tuning in here, guys, and joining us. If you're new, please hit that like button, comment, share, and it would be good if we get a follow. We'd like to have you also join the conversation, so feel free to chat, to put in your NFC South standings where you have teams finishing, and look forward to getting into this with Seth a little bit more of these last two teams and how we feel about them going into 2025, fantasy and just NFL too.
Right, because, man, this NFC South can go anyway. It can go any direction, quite honestly, as we always see. Like, they're probably like 1-2 teams apart. The NFC South, man, it looked like
it's the Wild West
Conference in the NBA. It's just so tight. Like, every game matters, right? Every game matters. That's what makes it fun, I think. Even though they may not
I absolutely agree.
And they compete, man. They compete with everyone, right? Even they go out and they compete with everyone. So, I don't know.
So how do you think so far? Are you in lockstep that you have Saints at 4 and Panthers at 3, or where are you at between those two? Where do you have them finishing?
Yeah, because I feel like, man, Panthers have been kind of climbing. That's the only reason I would say, yeah, if Bryce Young looked like he did 2 years ago, then it'd be like, oh, Panthers at the bottom. But the way they ended last season, man, is really promising. I'm really excited to see what they do with the remaining off season, how they head into next season, and what they come out looking like. Because they really got a chance to take the division, man. They can take a step and they can really jump into the playoffs just because that division is that open. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But
between those two teams, I was wondering between those two teams with your drafts coming up, I was wondering of like between the Saints and the Panthers at quarterback, who would you likely be more inclined to take later on in the draft? Would you go with a Bryce Young or a Derek Carr, or who you like better?
Bryce Young.
Okay,
for sure.
I'm agreeing with you.
Because he's a little mobile too. He's been coming around. I think he's gonna have a really good time. He was kind of thrust into a really hot, weird moment. Going to that team over there in the Panthers, they were just in a crazy situation. Where they needed a rebuild and they weren't rebuilding, but they're still drafting a quarterback, and it was weird. But it just didn't quite work out for them. I think it's starting to click and come around.
The paint's starting to dry, and you're kind of seeing a clearer picture. How about between the running backs? Like, would you be like, we got the tried and true steady Eddie Alvin Kamara, or would you go with this younger guy in this, bigger game, who's been like a little Kamara Jr. or Chuba Hubbard? Which one?
I'd probably go Chuba. Chuba. Yeah.
It's not like you're fading Kamara this year. It's just, if they're both sitting there in front of you, like in the, respectively the same round.
I mean, if they're both sitting there in front of me, I'm probably going to go Kamara just because, but I would try to go Hubbard. I would hope that I would go Hubbard.
Yeah, because I think we both can agree that these guys are probably going to be playing from behind most games, the Panthers and the Saints. So the opportunities to run the ball are probably not going to be that fruitful, but they both are good pass catching backs, so they have that in their game.
Very true. So yeah, I think either way you're not wrong. Like you said, either way you go, just because of the fact that they are great pass catching backs, so they are still going to have many opportunities even when playing from behind. So even though while they won't be running a lot,
garbage time football is still football, and we all know we either live or die by that in fantasy football, where you see your opponents taking garbage time points. You're like, God damn it!
Hey, I'll take it. I will take it, and it sucks when it happens. So
yep. How about this? How about I don't know, man. It's just so murky when we get to wide receivers and tight ends with these two teams, the Saints and the Panthers. Like for fantasy, I'm kind of just like, I'll just wait as long as I can before I grab any of them.
Yeah, and then I want to see what they do in the draft as well too. I feel like
true.
On wide receiver, and
do you think either of these two teams will invest in like a wide receiver or tight end in this draft? Or do you think
we'll see both of them. I think we'll see both of them bring in a wide receiver, and probably both of them bring in a tight end. I think there's a lot of tight ends in
like first or second round value, or probably at least at some point in the draft they're going to grab those player positions.
Second, third round, we're going to see. I feel like we'll see Carolina make a position on an offensive target. Probably, and maybe in the first round, But I think both these teams are going to be trying to go in an offensive direction to kind of instill. I mean, New Orleans, they kind of need some defense after trading away all their defensive backs, right? So maybe they'll be looking for that in the first couple rounds. But I think both of them are still going to be trying to inject some youth into their offense and kind of rejuvenate what's been kind of depleted over the past few seasons.
Absolutely. I can agree with that. So the next one I had on my list, finishing, bridesmaid runner-up in the division, which then leaves no surprises for the winner, is I have the Falcons sitting there at the 2 spot. They're just, maybe wild card, but the NFC is so tough all around that they're going to have to have a good, strong, like how the Saints did, like a 4 or 5 good game winning streak at some point in the season to give them a little bit of a cushion or an edge to it. But I could either see them like wild card 2 or just missing the playoffs as far as their season goes. And I like to see, even though we only got a couple games of Michael Penix, kind of want to see what he can do with a full season under that offense if they're transitioning past Kirk Cousins now. And Yeah, I think wheels up for Bijan Robinson. You're taking him for the first round, maybe the first 3 picks, in your drafts, and you're really comfortable and fine taking him because he's going to get that workload. And it seemed like from last season, they really figured out, oh my gosh, we have this first round talent on our offense. We know how to use him now. We know what to do. Give him the ball. And hopefully we see that a lot more this year. And that offense is like, light bulb moments of like, okay, we're struggling. Give Bijan the ball. Michael Penix is having a bad game. Give Bijan the ball. We're in the close by the goal line. Give Bijan the ball. We need a first down.
That should just be the thought every time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's no disrespect to Drake London and Darnold, those guys, but it's just like the best player on offense on that team for me is Bijan Robinson. You got to give your best player the ball as much as you can. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, as far as the running game goes, yeah, just smash it Bijan all day. And, as long as he stays healthy, which we all want, knock on wood, just, full 17 games, I think he can be a top 3 running back in fantasy football this year easily. But it requires his health, and it requires, the offense being competent. I mean, worst case scenario, Bijan finishes in the top 7 for running backs. But best case scenario, he could be a top 3. So he's got, a little bit of a slide there and, a little bit of a, little good solid floor. So that's what I hope to see from him this year, and hope the Falcons can build off of. And all about operating that offense too is just making Michael Penix comfortable there and like running an offense that he can conduct and he can operate within, because he's not exactly the most pocket passer. He's kind of mobile, but at the same time, we saw in the limited games we did with him last year, he's got some precision to his game, and he can find Kyle Pitts, the Moonies, the Ray McLeods, and the Drake Londons to get first downs and stretch the big plays and get in the end zone. So he's a competent quarterback that I think keeps the Falcons separated a tier from the teams like the Saints and the Panthers, just, a little bit of an edge over them. But I don't see him as like a world beater right now. Like he's going to like set the league on fire like a Jaden Daniels or a Bo Nix. He's just going to keep them like, relevant, and he's going to keep them competitive in that division to make a run for their playoffs.
All right, so you said you don't see him in that next level. All right, so ranking the quarterbacks in this division.
Okay.
Who would you have at 1?
At 1, I will give it to Baker Mayfield. He has the most playoff experience. He has the most playoff wins. He's got, obviously, he's the oldest. I think he's the oldest in the division. Or is Derek Carr older?
I
think they're both 30,
Derek
right?
Carr is a year older.
Okay. So regardless, I think he's the better quality of player out of the 3 remaining quarterbacks in this division. So I have him at 1.
Okay.
Would you agree, disagree?
No, I agree, especially with Kirk Cousins not being a starter.
Mm-hmm. And then for number 2, I have Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young takes that higher step than Michael Penix does this year. He takes a larger leap, and I think he edges him out because he's also had those, that rough and tumbly season we talked about earlier in his career, and he's had like the knocks on him and whatnot. And he's bounced back. He shows some promise. He shows some leadership. He's shown growth, and he's shown the ability to win the team some games. So I give him credit there ahead of Michael Penix, where we've only seen, like, you can count on one hand how many games Michael Penix, and we don't know if that's the true Michael Penix or if, it was just a streaky hot Michael Penix, or if, it's the real, we don't know for sure. At least I don't know for sure. That's why I got to have Michael Penix at 3. And then I think Derek Carr at 4, because he's just at the downward slide. We saw the flaws and mistakes in his game, and we've seen the crack in his game. Like, he's taken a step back. He's lost a step. He doesn't have wide receivers like Devontae Adams he's throwing to anymore, and he's putting his receivers at high risk plays and stuff, and that's not really quarterback play that keeps you around much longer in the league. I think he's just doing his trying to do some sort of renaissance tour, and it's not really working out for him. And it's kind of like that's something the Saints have to address in the draft too, is like where they're going to go at quarterback, because Spencer Rattler didn't look like anything that was going to usurp him, and it clearly shows, seeing as they're going back to a healthy Derek Carr. And that's where I think I'd have all 4 of those quarterbacks. So agree, disagree with me. I'd like to hear you chat, see where you guys have these quarterbacks as well. But most importantly, where do you feel with this these quarterbacks for the division? Where would you have them?
No, I like it. I was gonna say definitely got Bryce Young as number 2, maybe even depending on how he plays this year. He could surpass Baker Mayfield, right? Baker
I'm
Mayfield's
right there
a
with
baller,
you.
though.
Mm-hmm. Baker Mayfield's a baller, but I think, Bryce Young could have a little Baker Mayfield in him and play, I think he has the potential to get to that level and, give him a run for his money to be the best quarterback in that division.
Yeah, especially if he especially if he overtakes the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Then he, proves that he's ready to, to take over as the best quarterback in that division. Once he does that, man, I think it's on and running for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, I don't think it's a huge gap between the Falcons and the Panthers. So I know I have the Falcons at 2, but I could easily see if the Panthers have a good stretch of games and a good run there. I think they could finish second in this division also, depending on also the talent they bring in with the draft to add to that. I think the Falcons aren't safe. They're really on the hot seat this year to they could either fall off drastically or they can hold water and make a playoff push. And, just like other teams around other divisions are trying to grow, get better and make their push. I think the Panthers are just as hungry and they know that they have a vulnerable division where they can make a splash in, where if they were in another division, they'd probably be sitting towards closer to the bottom and being stuck there for a while because of the talent level above them.
Very true. Very true.
I know you brought up the Bears earlier. If you flip flop the Bears in the NFC South and the Panthers in the NFC North, where would you have those 2 teams finishing in those divisions?
Oh, I probably have the Bears winning the NFC South.
Agreed.
Quite honestly. And then the Panthers would be in the
I'm
NFC
sad to
North.
say that I think the Panthers would be firmly in the 4th spot in the NFC North. I don't think they would be able to hold water against the Packers, the Vikings, or the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I don't see the Panthers competing in the NFC North. But you know what? They play those guys too. So
yep.
Who knows?
I would think they would play them hard like they do the other guys in their division right now. I think they would play them hard and make them close games. I don't think they would be necessarily like we saw with the UFL games the other week, just absolute blowouts. But
man, seeing the same thing this weekend with the UFL.
Yep. And we'll get to that later, guys. I just thought I'd sprinkle that in there before.
Throwing stuff. No, I'm saying. Yeah, no.
Just give a little teaser for you on a promo.
Hey, got a lot. Yeah, man. I think, I don't know. The NFC South is just a weird, weak division, right?
Yeah.
We can change that stigma and come around. I feel like that's how the NFC East was viewed for a while.
Yeah.
They kind of changed that view over these past few years.
It took a few years to it, so maybe the NFC South is on the rise. Maybe they're the next NFC East, and they turn around and start playing for championships. You never know.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Hey, they I think they got their last championship. No, what was the NFC South's last championship?
Oh, I thought maybe. Well, the Bucks won the Super Bowl in 2020, right?
Oh yeah, with Tom Brady. So 2020.
I thought
2020 was their last one. The one before that, I guess, was 2002. But 2020 was their last one for the Buccaneers. But that was not any way, shape, or form a team coming up and claiming dominance across the league, though. That was just having Tom Brady.
The Tom Brady effect, it definitely helps out. Speaking of the Bucks too, I have them finishing off in first, but as far as fantasy options go, I'm comfortable taking Bucky Irvin and taking Rashad White, definitely drafting Baker Mayfield as at minimum my quarterback too. But I would also be comfortable waiting on these other quarterbacks to go earlier in my draft, bolster up my wide receivers and solid running backs and maybe a tight end, and then throwing Baker Mayfield in there as my starting quarterback. I would be totally fine with that if he was to fall later on in drafts because people forgot about him. They want to get those flashy top 5 quarterbacks, those quarterbacks that are, usually at the top of which, rightfully so. Yeah, those types of guys.
Which I don't know.
Yeah, right. So I think that'd be like a draft strategy you can implement this year that could work out because, at least for me, I played a lot against. I didn't have a lot of Baker Mayfield shares, but I played against him a lot in the different leagues I'm in, and he punished me. He really put my matchups on blast, thinking like, "Oh yeah, I got this," and then his games go off. I'm like, "Well, I'm already 40 points in the hole, so let's figure this one out."
I mean, Mike Evans.
Oh yeah,
always a solid pickup for receiver as well.
My biggest question mark in this whole division of all the fantasy assets in this division, the whole kit and caboodle. Where am I taking Chris Godwin? Where are we going with Chris Godwin? Are we drafting him high? Are we taking him low and try to get him as a value pick? But how do we feel his season's going to be projected this year for fantasy purposes? Are we going to see the same old Chris Godwin, you think, Seth, or is he going to have a step back another year older and fighting through that injury? Or is he still going to click and have that Baker Mayfield connection that we saw when he was healthy and performing for us before the injury?
Right. I think you just got to, assume he's going to have that same connection. That he's going to be the same guy. If he's there, I'm taking him.
Yeah, I'm banking on that because we've seen it. We know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. So personally, for me, I'm with you, Seth. I'm willing to take that risk in my fantasy drafts. If he's sitting there in rounds and I feel comfortable with it, definitely, yeah. Because you don't want to miss out on that because at worst, he's a wide receiver 2 for your teams. I mean, he's a set it and forget it flex if you're that stacked at wide receivers, but for sure you want to have him there as one of your top 2 wide receivers on your team because a healthy Chris Godwin can really impact and change the trajectory of your team for an entire season if he's playing like a stud like we know he can be.
Yep, especially if he stays healthy. Especially, I think that's the key word is healthy.
One guy I've been doing mock drafts with, and he's been going around, and I think you'd find this a little entertaining. So, who would you rather take? Okay, so the round comes back down. You're looking for a wide receiver 2, right, Seth? You're coming back down your draft. You need a wide receiver 2. Your picks up. You got Chris Godwin sitting there. All right, we established that. But also Cortland Sutton and Jamison Williams are sitting there.
Damn.
Which are you taking of those 3?
Probably Cortland Sutton.
It's definitely giving me a pause. I definitely think about it. I'd definitely be like, well, I know Cortland Sutton's the wide receiver 1 on the Broncos.
Yeah.
But I know on the other hand,
Chris
Godwin can put up wide receiver 1 numbers, even if he isn't, the alpha there.
Maybe, but you also got what's his name too, the tight end, K-Dot, and they got a feed now too. So who knows, man?
So it would definitely give you something to think about, right?
I'm taking Cortland.
All right, that's fair.
Just like I'm about to take this promo.
Let's do it, guys. Enjoy the promo. Sit back, relax, and while you're at it, throw up a like on here. Share us with your friends, family, coworkers, and people you think would be interested in it. And I just want to say again, thank you for tuning in with us. Stick with us throughout the break, and enjoy some promos.
Yes, sir.
My name is Anton Popoff, and this is my 6th year of college football. Training during the hottest times of the day is a recipe for muscle cramps, which is why electrolytes are so important. Hydration is crucial for my performance. Dragon Salt eliminates muscle cramps and boosts your overall energy level. Whether it's a weight room or field session, I fuel up with Dragon Salt beforehand. It's been a game changer for me, and it'll be a game changer for you.
Sir, you see it? You see it, Dragon Salt. Hey, guys, we're going over the NFC South Division rankings. Justin's way too early NFC South Division rankings. He had Tampa Bay as his number 1, Atlanta Falcons number 2, Carolina Panthers as number 3, and the New Orleans Saints as the bottom of the barrel. What do you guys
Sorry,
think?
Saints. Who dat at the bottom?
Who that at the bottom? Where them Saint fans at? Come out and tell us how you feel. Did he do wrong? You mad about that? What are you thinking? I agree with you, man. I think it's gonna kind of go that way. That's what I'm seeing too. This NFC South division can kind of go anyway. I like the Buccaneers though. So
it's weird, but I'm kind of rooting for the Panthers to have a good season down there and challenge the Bucs for the division.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I want to see Bryce Young have a solid season and prove the naysayers wrong. I think I kind of want to see that for sure. So it'll be interesting to see, man. It's going to be fun and intriguing to see if these teams go to retool or what happens. If the Saints try to, work around what they have, if they try to act like they don't have any issues or whatever it may be. So I'm excited.
One more segment I have with this division before we move on to other things is I was wondering if we wanted to go through of like each team, what's their pick or who's their pick for the first round for each team. So who are the Saints taking in the first round, Panthers, et cetera, Who do you think is going where?
Oh man. So who do you think the Saints are going to be taking with the first round?
I think the Saints are, you alluded to it earlier. I think they're going to
take
which
your guy.
one?
Your quarterback guy.
Oh, no. I don't see them going quarterback, and I don't see them going offense in the first round. You alluded to it. I think they're going to go on a defensive end or a linebacker. I think they're going to try to find their captain on their defense. They're going to try to find their future stalwart and their quarterback back there on that side of the ball, and they're going to attack defensive end or linebacker in the draft, because if they're not be able to produce that quarterback and get a stud quarterback that they absolutely like, well, then you got to generate pressure and get to the quarterbacks in your division, because you got the Bryce Youngs, the Michael Penixes, and you got the Baker Mayfields. You got to get to the quarterback, create some disruption, some pressure. So I see them going on defensive side of the ball, either linebacker or defensive end pass rush.
Okay.
What do you feel the Saints are going to take?
I could see that happening. Or maybe if not that, going at their quarterback, trying to get somebody in there behind Derek Carr.
Yeah. I think that's a smart move too, though. Like, I think those are like the two areas you got to attack: either quarterback for the Saints or defensive quarterback. Got to go for a quarterback on either side of the ball.
Yeah. Either way, somebody that's reading the field for you.
Yeah.
You'd be able to make some noise.
There's such a mess, kind of, that you have to start somewhere, and the quarterbacks run through. The first ones to run through everything on a team. I mean, look at the Broncos. They were having hard time with direction with their quarterback play, and then now they got a quarterback, and things are looking smooth and
smooth,
pretty pristine.
Yeah, very true, very true. Now with the Panthers, I mean, I can see the Panthers going linebacker. Yeah. I feel like they kind of have a lot of their offensive pieces in place. I know I said I could see them picking up another offensive weapon, but maybe a little later in the draft. I feel like I could see them going for maybe their quarterback of the defense and the linebacker and interior linebacker.
We're right there together. We're lockstep. That's where I see them going. They got to get that defense set up for Bryce Young, so they can start holding other offenses off the field. And giving Bryce Young chances to take leads and win games. So I'm right there with you, linebacker for the Panthers.
Yep, so true.
Or if they go offense, though, I think when you said they go and get another weapon, I think it's a wide receiver that they could go with, opposite of Xavier Legette. So he's got two weapons. Because I don't know, technically, is Adam Thielen still on the roster? Or is he a free agent? Because outside of Legette, I don't know who else they're throwing the ball to, because remember they got rid of Deontay Johnson mid-season.
Well, that was a while, but they still had a couple other receivers.
I don't remember. Do you know who they were?
Jalen Coker.
The cokehead.
They still have Thielen.
Okay.
Bryce Tremaine. So they may not go receiver, actually.
Yeah. I'm with you. I lean on defense then. I think they go defense. You almost got it, right? Trust your offense you got.
Yeah. I like their offense, man. I think Panthers are going to come out firing on all cylinders. They have a really solid. I think they have
maybe because I don't know how well their tight end is down in Carolina. Maybe they go for a tight end if they go on the offense first round.
I can see that. Yeah, go tight end. Oh.
But how about the Falcons? Where do you see them?
Falcons, yeah. Falcons kind of same thing, going for that defense, man. I feel like they were like kind of, trying to hang tight in a lot of games last season and having to put up a lot of points to stay in games.
Yeah.
So when they were throwing, you have Kirk Cousins throwing the 5 touchdowns there. Or
the opposing quarterbacks throwing 5+ touchdowns.
Exactly.
Because the Falcons secondary was one of the most exposed secondaries in the NFL last season, giving up big plays and big play touchdowns and really turning the tables and shifting games by the offense doing their thing. And then the next drive, you'll see a quick touchdown by the opposing team. And it's like, God damn.
Yeah.
So I think linebackers smart, but I think they go secondary in the first round. They get a strong hidden safety or a challenging cornerback. But
I would go safety if I were them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely somewhere in the secondary for sure.
Yeah. Kind of pick up and just have that. Yeah.
I also touched on in the chats, if you guys didn't see in the social groups, I pulled up a hypothetical trade that might happen, and I can see if that were to go through, then that the Falcons would invest in a tight end in the first round to replace the one they'd be losing.
Well, because then they'd have an earlier first round pick to be able to.
Yeah, they could get a Loveland, or they could get a Warren, or they could get your guy Mason Taylor. He's familiar with the area.
Yeah, right. Being right there in New Orleans.
So that's what I could see the Falcons going. And then the last one, the Buccaneers. What are you thinking?
Buccaneers. Kind of same thing, man. Defense, like you said earlier, these teams just kind of need defense.
We know, we see the problem, we see what they need, and that division needs defense, man.
Yeah, they need to stop the points being scored on them because they can put up a lot of points really quick, and that's their only issue, is that the other teams are able to do that as well too. So, they need linebacker help, safety help, or defensive back help as well. Kind of lock
that
down
second
the middle
layer
of
the defense.
Yeah, so, Tampa Bay has some good, linebackers, but they are getting a little old. Their pass rushers are getting a little bit up there in age, so maybe it's time to reload and, start it back over again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. That was our NFC South breakdown for you. We got the finishes, we got the records, and we gave you the best fantasy options and what we feel that they could do in the draft. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. And Ced's going to take us now on over to our next sport or topic of the night. What do we got, Ced?
So let's just keep it moving. Let's take a promo really quick, and then we'll get over and we'll talk.
Yes, sir.
Talk some of the Nuggets and Timberwolves. Do some rants in. Man, talking about the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, this Western Conference race is tight. It is coming down to the wire, man. Everybody besides OKC and Houston, right? Houston and OKC kicking it, laid back, and then even more changed since even this picture right here. You know what I mean? Because the Lakers got to win.
Oh yeah, look at the Wolf Pack. Look at they smell the mountains.
Yeah, Minnesota down there coming up. The Nuggets are playing the Pacers right now, and they're down by 5. So
let's
3.
Go
they're down by
Pacers.
3 with 8 minutes.
Let's go.
Whatever, man.
Says that quiet that noise.
But gosh, this
He's about to
race
mute
is
my
coming
mic.
down to it. What does the Joker have to do to win MVP, man? Does he literally have
If they
to
fall out of the
score every
fourth spot
point?
and they drop down to their like 6 and 7, does he look over at the front office and stuff like, come on, like what do I got to do?
Well, let me ask you this: does Duke losing last night to Houston mean that Cooper Flagg wasn't the best college player this past season?
I mean, he was a damn good one.
As a
The
team
best?
sport, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was a damn good one, but the best, I don't know. Like he didn't elevate his team to the championship, so it's
Well,
up for
that's what I'm
debate.
saying for Joker. So I guess,
Yeah.
I guess what you're saying then that means that SGA would get it then, right? Based off that.
Man, yeah, if I got free points too, I'd probably be an MVP in the league as well. There's compilation videos out there of him just fishing for fouls and fishing for, flagrants and just getting to that free throw line.
SGA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's
Or
all-
Jokic
he's super
and
quick, too.
like Jokic isn't fishing for fouls to get to the line to get free
He
points.
just
Like
doesn't
he's
get half the calls.
exactly. When you're not getting the calls, you can't get the points. So that's why I call them free points. That's why they're free throws. Like you literally getting just gifted points.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think 10 times out of 10, you put Jokic against SGA, Jokic is going to destroy him.
Well,
Which that's
yeah,
what I would like to see next year's All-Star game is a bunch of 1v1s.
1 versus 1. Let's see what he has tonight. 37 points.
Only?
Still like 9 minutes left. Still like 9 minutes left.
Only 37 points?
Only 37 points. Where is he at?
Did you see the thing out there that someone posted where like no one's talking about Jokic's 61-point game, but if it was like LeBron or SGA or like one of those other guys and like they're more popular in the league did that, they'd be talking about it on ESPN all day long.
Yeah, I don't care about that. That's what they say. They talk about it. They know what's up,
Like, but doesn't that hurt Jokic's MVP talk though? Like if they're just focused on these other guys and not really looking at his game and what he's done, even though he has been multiple MVPs in the past, that should
I know it sucks.
you.
It's like they're almost like tired of him or something. He just goes out there and gets triple doubles. Like
well, it's just like the tush push. If you're tired of it, beat him. Beat it.
Mm-hmm.
Be better.
They can't. They can't. That's the thing. So that's why they try not to talk about it. I guess the best thing to do is not talk about it. But everybody sees all these records being broken, all these stats being put up. Like it's kind of hard not to talk about it. Like I said, he has a triple-double tonight. The game's not even over. He already has 13 assists, 11 rebounds.
Where's the supporting cast? You said they're down 8, you said?
They're down. Oh, gosh. It's 111 to 104.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You said there's how much time
Jalen
left?
Pickett started tonight. That tells you where our supporting cast is. We started a rookie at point guard.
Are they just coasting Jamal to the playoffs or what?
I don't even know where Murray is. He wasn't even on the roster for tonight.
Wow.
Yeah. Weird.
So if, like I was saying earlier, if the Nuggets fall out of the 4 spot,
they're not gonna fall out of the 4 spot.
Humor me, if they were to, and it's because Jamal hasn't played for the last 2 weeks, does that bother you a little bit?
No, because it said Jamal should be back by the playoffs. I'm looking at it right now.
But if it affects seeding, though, like if he would have been playing, and they locked up that 4, but now that he isn't playing, and they go down to like a 6 or a 7 seed and have to go somewhere to play somewhere, does that bother you a little bit? Of like you could have had home field advantage, and now you don't.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it matters where you play at in the NBA. I think it's like 50
who you play
or something. Who you play, I don't think it matters either, man. You see these people, we ain't scared of nobody. We don't care who come at us.
Hey, we bring
it's
into
the
your
playoffs.
game.
So there's a difference. It's the
up
playoffs.
north here, we're bringing brooms to the game. You guys come up,
but it's the
come up
best
here
of
to play a
seven,
7-game
exactly.
series. We bring the brooms
We
out.
got the supercomputer Joker to sit there and analyze all you guys. So I hope we get the Timberwolves and knock you guys out in the first round.
You want
Send
that
you
smoke
home
first
early.
round?
We
This
want
show
that
will be lit
smoke.
like a
We want
Christmas
all that
tree.
smoke. Murray ain't afraid of Anthony Edwards. He's saving up all his energy.
You guys get live
he
game cast from us for each game of the series if the Wolves are playing the Nuggets.
Murray is like Goku right now in the hyperbolic chamber, just training right now. That's where he's been for the past month and a half. That's why he hasn't been showing up. You see it every time you see his hair is getting longer. Every time you see him, it's frozen.
Yeah, well, Anthony Edwards is like Frieza. You haven't seen his final form yet.
Anthony Edwards almost broke his ankle the other night.
Quiet. That was the coach behind him. Coach put his foot down. He tripped him up. He was trying to get hurt.
Yeah, you better calm down, slow down, trying to do too much. You're gonna have to carry that team because Julius Randle, he ain't gonna be nowhere to be found in the playoffs. So good luck with that.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait. You're gonna have to get so much content if our teams meet in the playoffs.
You better hope they right now it's looking like it, right? We'd play.
We all know what's going to happen. It'll be a 4-game sweep. The Wolves take the
Nuggets.
Get those brooms out. They sweeping.
Oh man,
they're sweeping.
I can't wait till we sweep the Wolves.
How mad do you think Jokic would be if he got swept in the regular season by the Wolves and then swept in the first round of the playoffs?
He'd probably demand for them to go and get a superstar next season. We'd probably see a superstar come onto his team next season.
You'd have to. The ownership would have to open their checkbooks and be like, okay,
we're gonna go get Luka.
Okay. Really?
That's so weird.
I thought Luka was locked up.
That's so weird that the Mavs traded Luka to a Western Conference team. I don't even understand what happened there. Sounds like collusion.
Yeah.
Because it should have came to the Nuggets.
It should be investigated. But hey, when KD gets traded to the Wolves next year, all is going to be right in the world.
KD's coming to the Nuggets.
Nah, did you hear that the Wolves locked up the Pistons' first-round pick next year because the Pistons made the playoffs?
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so they're going to get either, depending on how they finish in the playoffs, either going to get the Pistons' 17th pick or 18th pick.
Dang, the Pistons were like the first team to go from worst to
playoffs, yeah.
In the season.
Malik Beasley is hitting three-pointers for him. He's playing well.
That's pretty
Pistons
respectable.
Are a scary team to play in the playoffs right now if you're in the East.
I ain't worried about the East, man. The East so lame. They sit there and they run up and down you watch the East games, I feel like they're just like running up and down the court, not scoring any points. I don't know.
It's a cardio game. There's a bunch of empty.
They're just throwing the ball up. You just see them just throwing the ball up back and forth.
Yeah.
It goes in. Nah, the East got some ballers though. Celtics are pretty nice.
So you think the big name player for the Nuggets next year, if shit goes sour this year, that they go out and get who?
Jason Tatum. No, I'm just playing.
I can see him getting Devin Booker.
I can see him getting a Devin Booker. Yeah, definitely like a Devin Booker or what's his name over there, Detroit?
Cunningham? Nah, dude, he ain't going nowhere. I think he's embraced that city. He's embraced it. Like at first he was worried about it. He's like, oh shit, I'm in Detroit, but like now they're doing well. I don't think he's gonna want to turn coach.
I just don't know. It'd have to be a shooter. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it'd have to be a shooter, not
and a point guard. You ain't running
with
like Stroth or Pickett.
Well, we can run with Murray. We could either get rid of MPJ or Murray. We don't have to get rid of both of them.
Okay, so who would you rather get rid of?
Both of them.
Would you do like, hey, take MPJ and Murray, and we'll take Devin Booker?
It's so crazy because they're ballers, man. I'd probably rather get rid of MPJ. But Murray, man, Murray just pissed me off sometimes. Yeah.
If Jamal Murray does his best Russell Westbrook impression this playoffs and loses him a game in the playoffs, are you gonna just send his ass packing? You're just gonna
send him packing, right? Send him packing. I make probably like 1% of his paycheck.
Jamal misses a freaking easy wide open three to win the game, and you're just like,
man,
gone. He's gone.
Out. Gone. Send them all. Just rebuild. Just keep Joker and just rebuild everyone around.
Yeah,
him.
I want to preach it into existence. KD to the Wolves. I want to see that.
Yeah. So what do the Wolves have to do? What do you expect?
They give up their first round pick next year. The pick they get from the Pistons, so 2 first round picks, and then you can have one of our veteran players like a Julius Randle or something for KD.
Okay.
2 first and Julius. Do you think that gets it done? They need more.
You got to look at the Suns for that, man. They don't know what they're doing down there.
Exactly.
They've gotten
That's
like every star under the sun.
We get KD.
Do anything. KD
Hey, as
wants
long
to
as
go to a
Ant
team.
keeps whispering about it too, how much he wants to play with KD. He's gonna want to come up here.
And he pump up KD because KD would talk. KD would talk trash with him. That's why.
Yeah. Can you imagine those sidelines?
Oh man. Oh, they're just talking trash to everybody. Everybody.
Part of me loves it, but part of me is scared to death if that's the case.
Yeah.
Just see technicals every other game. This guy, shut your mouth.
Pretty much. Yeah, you think Anthony Edwards getting fined right now? Wait till KD's his teammate, and they're just amping each other up.
He's got to pay that child support still.
Oh man, he already paid it. Didn't he just pay a lump sum?
Yeah, he did. you heard about that?
He paid like 1.8 million or something like that. Ridiculous. I don't think I've ever heard that in my life. He beat the system because, like, in the one hand, you're like, well, I mean, he paid it.
Yeah, he paid it.
Right. I don't think what's the difference between it being every month or just once.
Right? You literally probably just set that on the table, just like, here you go.
Well, it's probably better though, right? Because he could just take that and invest. If they just put that in savings, that'd collect way more in interest than bringing it in monthly. It's just messed up. Dang, balling. I should have played basketball.
Wolves got problems.
That's crazy. Oh man, so
we gotta get this bus back on the road here. We took a wild pit stop at a.
Do you see the Wolves climbing anymore in the rankings, or what do you see them?
Oh, absolutely, man! They're coming for that 4 spot. They're coming. They're hungry. You hear that wolf pack coming from the forest below up to those mountains.
Oh wow!
I think they could do it just because they took the season series for the Nuggets. I mean, they can't slip up. They have the tiebreaker, so you better watch out. They just have to get over. Oh shit! Who else is in Golden State
and LA.
Lakers.
And watch out the teams below. There's still the guys below them too. I mean, it's super tight.
And the hardest game they have on the schedule out of the next 4 is this week on Tuesday, Milwaukee. That's the only tough game they got.
Oh dang!
And no Damian Lillard. He's out indefinitely. Bucks have already locked up their spot in the playoffs. So how much are they going to be playing for? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, you guys are tied with Memphis and the Clippers too, and we played Memphis.
Hey, we'll scratch your back. You scratch ours.
Maybe we'll just lose to Memphis and let them jump over you guys.
Man,
well, we play Golden State.
Tell the fans to tell them that. Hey guys, just tell them to throw this one.
We play Golden State right now. If the season ended today.
Okay, are you worried about that at all?
No.
How well Steph's playing?
They did just dust us the other night, though.
Dude, I wanted to text you about that, but I was like, I'm just gonna let Ced sit on this one.
Nuggets have just been just these last minute losses.
I feel like they're one more bad playoff series away from you getting on your soapbox and just raising.
Well, I just take it because I just remember all the years where. We were just saying, just wait until next year.
Believe me, I know as a Wolves fan, we waited so long to be this good.
So we're here, and just got to take it and watch the team.
But does that make you scared when Jokic is gone? Like, post Jokic years, like what's gonna look like?
Well, not necessarily. If we got, we got Christian Brown, man, right? I don't know.
He is nowhere close to Jokic.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing talking about developing players. Like, just bring in every starter you can bring in right now. This is the first time in the history of the Nuggets where we've been able to actually bring in superstars.
Make Jokic Tom Brady of the NBA. Just stack those championships.
Exactly. So just bring in all these old stars that want to win a championship. Get them in here. Get them on a roster. If they click, they click. They don't.
They should have done this trade deadline and got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that was.
You know what? Jimmy Butler's probably making that layup at the end of the game last week and beating the Wolves.
Yeah, well, duh.
When you saw Russ taking the shot, you're like, "Oh, of course."
Of course. This is how it's supposed to be. That Russ taking that shot was the metaphor for the Nuggets season right there, and how they handle these past 2 seasons with the Joker and where he is in his career. That shot right there is they just
that picture I sent you.
Literally, because they've had the chance. We had a chance to. We probably should be sitting on at least 2 championships right now.
At least
2 championships.
You should be on your third.
Going for our third. Looking at the third.
Because I think you guys could have beaten the Celtics last year.
We could have went on a Golden State type run for sure.
Yep.
I don't know what they're doing.
And I think Jokic knows that too. I think he does. When he's sitting there on the bench and watching these games, just like.
Yeah, well, Jamal Murray thinks he's Steph Curry, and he's more like, what's Steph Curry's little brother's name? Seth Curry. He's like Seth Curry. Oh man. And they don't have a Clay. Who's that shooting guard? I don't even know. Christian Brown. He is not Klay Thompson.
He's
Clay.
Seth Curry.
He's Seth Curry too. And then we got MPJ. MPJ is I don't know.
He is hot and cold. He's like
Curry
the definition. Too. Yeah. He doesn't pose his head on each of their pictures.
Yeah.
Just like convince me these are supposed to be different.
Just shooting up bricks. What the heck, man? We're letting Russ shoot threes. It's ridiculous.
It's not 2017 anymore. You don't get that, Russ.
We got rookies starting at point guard. I don't know what the Nuggets are doing.
Do you have an update on the score?
Yeah, the score update. Oh gosh, 120 to 118.
Okay,
2 minutes left. Point.
2 minutes, and they're down
by 2.
Who's on the court?
Hold on.
Let me guess. It's
who's on the court? Sorry, it's going fast right now. Yeah.
Watson.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jokic, they don't bench him in the second half.
Yeah, he hasn't sat. I don't think the Joker sat in the bench in the past week.
Dude, he played what was it? Like 52 minutes in the second half of that Wolves Nuggets game? That was unreal. He didn't sit a single minute.
Yeah, he has 37 minutes tonight. 41 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists.
Yeah, how is SGA doing? Let's pull up his numbers and see if he can compare to that.
What are they playing? Let's see.
I don't know.
The Thunder, right? They lost. Dang, they got mopped by the Lakers, 126 to 99.
Damn. Oh, that doesn't help you guys. Wait, they won?
They lost.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, that's the Lakers win. That's the win they got. They got 1 win ahead of us.
Oh,
dang.
no.
SGA had 26 points.
He's garbage.
3 rebounds, 9 assists.
I think Jokic had that in the second quarter.
Jokic had that before the game started. Tip-off happened, and he had a triple-double. Yeah, exactly. But they don't care about that, though. No one's talking about it anymore, though. They don't want to mention it.
Yeah, we should probably stop talking about it.
Yeah. They all just want to give it to SGA because he's the best player in the best team. And some people would
No, he's not the best player. He's just the most opportunistic player on the best team in the West.
Yeah. But let's keep it going.
Okay, yep. Yeah, because we can go down a whole. Yeah, let's keep this bus back on. I'll put my headphones
going.
back. I'll just sit on my bus. I'll have my snack pack in front of me. And we'll just keep riding.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for people sticking with us. If you're still here, thank you for tuning in and sticking with us. Feel free to chime in the chat and throw up your comments, what your thoughts are and whatnot, and we'll check those out. In the meantime, too, like feel free to check us out on all their social medias. Like, subscribe, and follow, and share everywhere you can. We got plenty of content on the network here for whatever you may be interested in. You don't know until you try it. So check us out.
Right. Spring football leagues. You know, we got spring basketball or fall basketball.
Was the Italian League on break this weekend? I didn't hear or see any of that content. I know I like me some Italian football on the weekend.
I didn't catch any Italian games this weekend. I was a little tied up this weekend all weekend.
Yeah.
I
was kind of relying on Michael for that, but I didn't get any updates.
I know he posted about the Polish football, the Polish league. So
yes, guys, we have that too. If you're really trying to spice things up.
Mm-hmm. So that's another league. Yeah, definitely for you guys to check out. Like Justin said, and get in there and get some more American football overseas if you want some football. It's going on. It's going on all the time, guys. You gotta catch it. Gotta catch it.
Yeah. So what do we get into next? Sorry, I feel like we took a wrong turn somewhere.
No, we're good, man.
We're in a new town.
Yeah, so we'll take a promo real quick and then we'll talk. We'll just do some UFL predictions really quick.
Okay.
Just try to and kind of wind it down.
Perfect. It's a Sunday night. We got work in the morning. It's a Monday, so don't want to get too wild up in here.
Don't get too crazy.
But I'd like to hear the final score before we get out of here for the Nuggets said.
Oh, man.
Goes out tonight.
As long as it's a win, I'll let you know. Just joking.
If it's not a win, you'll just shut off the stream. Just
done. Just kidding. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Good luck, everyone here. Oh my Lord, who is this? Joe Burrow! Joe Burrow! AFC North smoked it right here, baby. Fanatics, authenticated Joe Burrow on the speed, incredible hit, going to Alpha Wolf. Congratulations, Alpha.
Dang, man. I think my Nuggies are going to lose it.
No, don't say the L word. Stay positive.
120.
Stay positive.
4 points.
4 points with how much time?
14 seconds.
That's okay. That's a Jokic 3-and-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, the Wolves did it against the Nuggets last week. Hello.
Shut your mouth.
You just need a mute, like a mic muting button. You just boop.
Nuggets aren't built for that. I don't think they got it in them. I wish they proved me wrong, but I don't think so. And gosh, we cannot afford this loss right now.
If it's any consolation, the Pacers own the Wolves too. They beat them both times this year.
Yeah, well, Pacers, man, just kind of came out of nowhere these past couple of years.
I don't know what to think about that team. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, yeah, they're a playoff team, but are they an actual threat to the champion? Like, you see them winning? No.
Well, unless they take a leap like Cleveland did, right?
True. But I don't even think they're going to get past the spite of this year, like, if they have to play Cleveland.
Yeah, no. Not at all. I don't think they can.
Ooh, that's who the Nuggets should try to woo away from Cleveland is try to, like, throw all the stops and get Donovan Mitchell to the Nuggets. You imagine that?
You mean the draft pick that they gave away? Yeah, we should try to get that guy back.
And totally redeem yourselves.
He missed the shot.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, 4 seconds left. They fouled him. Gosh.
On that note, guys, it's been a good night.
Yeah, all right, guys. Don't care about nothing else. No. All right, UFL. So we got UFL games coming up. Can you read that? Oh God.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to throw up the scores from this week?
Ooh.
And
Let's see.
I know my prediction for one of the games was the Panthers beating the Stallions, and that did not happen. Ced was right on that one. I should have listened to him.
Yeah, man. It was kind of I feel like the UFL is kind of so predictable, quite honestly.
Really? Yeah. I still don't know what to think. Like, I don't know who's the top tier. I don't know who's, it's just kind of like every game's like rolling the dice. Except for one thing that I found out is pretty consistent through the social medias and the chats and stuff is the Brahmas suck.
Yeah. They got the best logo, too. That's what sucks.
I know. That's kind of irritating, low key. That's kind of irritating.
Yeah. Like, how y'all gonna have the best looking
And
stuff?
I really like their uniforms. I like the color scheme and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I like their color scheme. Their team is garbanzo.
Come on, Brahmas, pick it up for us. Come on. We're rooting for you.
But there's still, there's still a good amount of the season left.
They have a gauntlet to start the year. They had They had the Renegades first week, and then now they play. Who did they play this week?
Brahma, they played Battlehawks, who are still
got destroyed. Oh my god!
Right, 26-9.
And then they're probably. You know what? I'm taking the Panthers this week over the Brahmas because I just don't see it.
I mean, the Panthers, they're,
Hey, they played the Stallions honestly. They played them pretty tough, pretty competitively. It just when you're beating the champ of the league, you got to give up your champ like play, and they did not do that.
Right. Yeah. And then you got the Defenders still undefeated. So we still got 3 undefeated.
Oh, man, the Showboats almost had them.
Yeah. Yeah, Showboats came. They just can't, man.
Who are they playing next week?
The offensive onslaught. So next week, we have the Renegades play the Stallions.
Oh,
Friday
man.
night on Fox.
Oh, man. I don't know. You go first.
Well, I got, I'm just going to keep rocking with the Renegades, man. Until they lose, I think they got a solid chance to go really
I want to put
far
some
in the
respect
season.
on the champ's name. I'm going to go Stallions.
Man, Stallions. Ain't nobody worry about the Stallions right now.
We'll find out. We'll find out this
They
weekend.
can't score, man. Then Saturday we got the Roughnecks and the Showboats.
I'm going Showboats, Ced. I'm fine.
I'm going Showboats as well.
Let's get the
got
Showboats.
Somebody has to win this game.
Yes. You put it like that. Someone has to do it. What do you think the score is? Like 15-24?
Yeah, with these, it'd probably be like 15-12.
Yeah.
15-12,
Let's go
11.
Showboats. We're rooting for you over here on the network.
But because they have the weird scores too, right? They can get up to 4 points in the conversion.
Yeah.
So it could be
Yeah, true.
But yeah, going
So
Showboats
like
on this
16
one.
or something. So we're splitting the first game. We're on the same page in the second game, and then what do we got here?
Sunday closing it out. Sunday morning game got Brahmas versus the Panthers, which we said the Panthers, right?
Yeah, I'm going Panthers.
Yeah, Brahmas is just hot mess, hot garbage.
Hey, tank for the number 1 pick.
Tank for the number 1 pick. And then Defenders versus the Battlehawks. Oh, this right here. Yeah, battle of the big dogs. Battle of the big dogs. I got the Battlehawks, man.
Let's do it. Let's fly, Battlehawks, fly.
Fly, Battlehawks, fly with your angel wings.
Yeah. So we agree on the Showboats. We agree on the Battlehawks and the Panthers, and we'll see how the Stallions and the Renegades do. That should be a hot game Friday night.
Yeah, hopefully it's not a hot mess.
I think that'll probably be the highest scoring game of the week for UFL.
Ooh,
honestly.
dang, hot take. Highest scoring game of the week.
For the UFL scores, I think that one's gonna. I think the lowest is gonna be the Roughnecks to the Showboats.
Yeah, they both have really good defenses too. That's the thing. Like they both have really solid defenses. So if just their offense, if somebody's offense can wake up, I think if Showboats can just get a couple.
I have more faith in the Showboats.
Yeah, I feel like they'll.
After a couple weeks, are you favoring a team at all in the UFL? One you kind of gravitate to, you like more, you're kind of rooting for, or what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking, I'm looking at, like the Battlehawks.
Since Colorado can't get one, I guess.
I know they don't want to bring it to Colorado, but the Renegades, man, I just, of course, it's Dallas, right? I think it is. But I like their logo. I like their colors. I like their team, and they're playing really good football right now. Like, I know. Who was it? For the Renegades, right? That's who Luis Perez plays for, right?
I believe so. You have to double check that, but that's not a bad team to hang your hat on. They can make an honest run for the ship this year again.
Yeah. So, and I think they have a lot of NFL talent on that team, just kind of that NFL pedigree, and kind of seeing it come through this season and standing out. Like that want to win, that want to go out there and actually compete. But it's still early, so we'll see.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm favoring the Michigan Panther side of it. They play in Detroit's den, so lockstep there, rolling with the Panthers.
There you go. I like the Panthers as well. I like DC Defenders too.
But I want to see the Showboats do well. That's the thing. Is like I like the Panthers, I'm rooting for the Panthers, but I like to see the Showboats show up. Ball out.
Yeah, I just want to see. Yeah, I want to see this team, this league, really do well and continue to expand and grow, because it is fun having some solid spring football, professional spring football. I mean, there's other good leagues out too, but it is cool having something on this level, as big, almost seeming, to an extent as the NFL.
Yeah.
At least with their promotion and their.
I mean, I've liked what I've seen of the Italian Football League. I'm checking out the ELF, I think, the European League of Football, and there's a lot of good football out there to be had at this time of the year as you're just getting your fix for the NFL. Because, after the NFL draft happens here in a couple of weeks, it's going to start picking up. You got OTAs, you got spring training or whatever they call it, and you got summer camp or whatever. I can't keep up with all the different mini camps and stuff.
Right. All the extra stuff. If my fantasy team were as good as my trash talk, I'd be champion every year. That's all I'm gonna say. Nah, but moving on. Speaking of champions and championship pedigree, shouts out to Ovechkin, Alex Ovechkin.
Here we go.
Broke the record today against the New York Rangers, right? They lost, but he broke
New
the
York
record.
Islanders.
New York. Yeah, I don't know hockey teams. But I know a champion, and I know when records are broken, it means that you did something great. And I think it's cool that he actually broke the record in the same amount of games. So he tied the record one game less and then broke it on the same amount of games. So it's
he could have done it last game on an empty net, but he chose to take the honorable route and be like, nah, I'm not taking a gimme.
Which he pretty much, I feel like he got a gimme for this one, but it is what it was.
Yeah. But hey, no props to him. He took out the great one. He is now the great one. And I think this firmly settles the debate from that draft class that Alexander Ovechkin is better than Sidney Crosby.
Dang. Well, yeah, I mean, it's, Sidney Crosby. Where is Sidney Crosby right now, right? When you look at it,
that is a good question. I haven't looked into
breaking the record. He ain't breaking the record.
And here's the thing, too. It's pretty cool is he did it on the same team. Like Gretzky, he ended up doing it on a few other teams, but sticking it from the beginning to the end with the Capitals, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool that he did stick with the Capitals, because there was a lot of those years where they were just he was the only bright spot on that team. So
I bet Michael could tell us all about it.
Right. I bet he could, because man, I remember when I lived out there, those Capitals their fans are loyal though. They got some loyal fans. But yeah, shout out Alex Ovechkin, breaking Wayne Gretzky's record, 895 goals scored during his illustrious career. And he still has time. He still has time left too. So that's a cool thing. It's not
the book is not closed on him.
Yep. He can go on and add some more to it. Let's see, like Michael Phelps said, let's see if he can get to 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But we'll watch right here in Shady Sports.
Yeah, we'll keep watching.
And then
But
another
for
one.
us, Ed, what do you think? What do you think
What's
about
that?
this New York? Oh, I
Go
was going
ahead.
to say, we're going to say as the March Madness comes to a close, what do you think about this game? And then, yeah, you hit the graphics, so you're already ahead of me.
Yeah, Houston
Look at that
Gators.
height.
Look at that height, man. That is what a dunk. It's a good shot too. I was like, okay, I like it. Man, my Gators are just playing out of this world. I don't know why I say my Gators, Florida Gators. Are playing out of this world. I just love it. We haven't seen this since 2006, 2007 when we were going on back-to-back national championships, man. And we had Joakim Noah and Al Horford and oh gosh, I blank on all the other guys. Corey Brewer, man, they had a solid squad. Guys that you're still kind of seeing.
Is this team better
around.
than those teams, or do you think?
I
What do
don't
you
know,
think?
man, because that team was super dominant. That team.
Do you think this team could beat one of those teams from the past?
No. Well, yeah, because this team is the only thing is, see, that team I felt like was just more dominant. This team has like more of a killer instinct to come because they come from behind. They get down, they remain calm, and then next thing you know, they're taking over in the fourth quarter or in, the final minutes of the second half. And just dominating, man, just eating the hearts out of teams thinking they're coasting, coming out of halftime, thinking they're coasting against the Gators, and then it's time doing those down, you get closer 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and players start Clayton comes in.
Do you agree or disagree
that guy just
with
can't
the
miss.
idea that they had an easier path to the championship than the University of Houston?
What are you talking about? They played Michigan State. Hold on. An easier path.
Let's break it down. See, I'm just starting some fires here. My team isn't in it, so let's hear about
it. Easier path than Houston. Houston, I'm mad we didn't play Duke. Why we gotta play this non-blue blood team? I wanted to get the real top dog. That's what I wanted. But
do you think the Gators had the easier path to the finals than the Houston Cougars?
What? The Gators in the Final Four played a number 1 Auburn. Houston played a number 1 Duke. We played number 1
Okay,
team.
so do you think Duke is better than Auburn, or do you think Auburn's better than Duke?
Auburn is the tallest team, and Duke was right there, but Auburn was like the tallest team in the tournament.
Okay.
They were number 1 the entire season too. So I think Auburn was better. The Elite 8, we played Texas Tech. They played Tennessee. Okay, I'll give it to them with Tennessee. Better? I'll say Tennessee because SEC. Okay. So I'll say the SEC is better. But that's,
got him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dang, hold on. Let's see. So that was the Elite 8. Sweet 16. The Gators played number 4 Maryland. And then Houston played number 4 Purdue.
Okay. Big Ten, what do you think? Better team?
Maryland, man. I'm going to go Maryland. They're both number 4s, though. So I guess say a wash, I guess.
Yeah.
Say that one's a wash. 32. Houston played number 8 Gonzaga. And then Florida played number 8 UConn. Dang. It's kind of like the same path, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know.
You're just picking hairs there. You just lean one way or the other.
Yeah. And then to start it, let's see. Florida played number 16 Norfolk State. Only because we were the number 1 seed. Houston was number 1 seed too, though. So they played number 16 SIUE. We had the same exact path to get there. I don't know what they're talking about. Just
you heard it here first.
And they played in the Midwest. I feel like the Midwest division was a little bit easier. They had Gonzaga, Georgia, Clemson, McNeese, Purdue, Illinois, Xavier, Kentucky, Troy. All these teams no one cares about. UCLA, okay, I'll give it to them. But then Florida.
So on that note, they taking Houston to the cleaners? They doing it?
Man, we're about to
ship?
mollywop Houston. They gotta win the ship. It's ours to win. I wish I'd put a bet on it somewhere.
I'm surprised you didn't. Like $10, $5.
I don't know why I didn't. I didn't even think about it till the tournament already started anyway. But I still got my Gators winning. Both my brackets, I got them. One bracket I had them against Duke winning.
Are you going to be watching the game?
I'm gonna try to. Tomorrow night. What time is it?
I don't know. I stopped paying attention when Michigan State got knocked out.
By the Gators.
What? No, they didn't.
Didn't the Gators beat Michigan State? Oh, no, they didn't. We just went through the whole thing.
But yeah, I mean,
Well, it's tomorrow night. Yes.
It is? Okay.
Tomorrow's the 7th.
Holy shit, it is. We're already 7 days into April, everybody. Holy shit.
Dang, what channel is it on?
I don't know, maybe one of those streaming services.
Yeah, it doesn't even say on here. Weird. Yeah, but that's it. I will be watching that. Maybe I'll throw on a stream to talk trash or something. Go live on
Yeah, well, maybe you'll, get in on that Discord voice channel, said maybe talk some trash with some people. If anyone wants to join Said with some of that.
Yeah, the happy hour. Get on the happy hour, talk some trash, or get on the Shady Sports Discord and talk some trash.
Yeah.
Either way.
But if the Gators end up losing, you'll hear an early night from Said. Click.
They're not losing though, so that's the cool thing about it.
Are they favored? I don't even know who's favored or who, like, what the odds are or what.
Huh?
I mean, it would help if we had a sports betting sponsor that wanted to pick up on
I know, we gotta get one on, right?
Wow, we're waiting for you guys.
Florida's -1.5.
Okay.
Over 140.5.
Still taking your Gators to win, though. Should be fine. Look at Gator Chomp. Chomp, chomp.
Dang, 140, though. I'd probably take the under. That seems like a lot. I know the Gators average like 86 points a game, but like,
you gotta be realistic.
I feel like college games only get to like 120.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll see, though. Maybe. Well, I guess both of them, so if they both get 80, that's 160. So, yeah, I guess I could see that. I think we might see an over. Because, man, the way Houston came back on Duke, when I was watching that game,
does that put a little fear in you? Just a little bit?
No, not at all. Not at all, because they're playing our game. That's our game coming back. So somebody has to be ahead in order for
Florida has to come back in this game. It's lock, seal, done deal. But if they are winning the whole game and it comes, I'm like, uh-oh.
I think if they're winning the whole game and then Clayton just has to lock in, they're locked in, man. And once Clayton locks in, it's that kid don't miss. That kid don't miss.
They're playing their second unit in like 4 minutes to go.
We got like 5-6 units. That's the thing. We got the depth. So let's see if they can keep up. If they can run up and down with all our guys, we'll see who can do that. So,
well, it should be exciting.
I ain't scared.
Keep us up to date in socials with whatever happens.
I will. And speaking of socials, you guys can join our Facebook group.
Yeah, there we go.
Fantasy Reports or Shady Sports Network, whichever one. Either way, you'll find us. And then you can see, if you look in the description, you'll see the link for our Sleeper app. You can add me on Sleeper and add Justin on Sleeper, and we can get you in our fantasy league or get you in the basketball league, whichever one it may be. Other than that, I don't think I have much else for tonight, man.
Yeah, my glass is tapped, man. I'm out of the well here. I don't have anything else. We went over, we covered a lot.
Yeah. I think we'll wind it down. I think it was a good show, though. I think it was a good episode. All you guys tune in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that share button. Please subscribe so you can come back with us this Tuesday at 7 p.m. We'll be talking more sports as we do, rambling on over here on Fantasy Report. Just rolling around.
Hey, you had fun. We had fun. It was a fun time.
It's always a fun time. Yeah, it's always a fun time. So hopefully when we come back,
the off season, we gotta take it easy while we can, because when the season starts, the grind begins.
Exactly. And I'll take these next couple days to hopefully not cry too much about my nuggies. Hopefully we can move up and not down. So
you don't want those wolves to catch them.
I know. I do not want those wolves to catch them. So we don't need that. We don't need that at all. So hopefully the Nuggets can move in the right direction. Keep it going. as they should. There's only a few more games left, getting to the NBA playoffs. Other than that, you got anything else, Justin?
No, I would just say thank you guys for tuning in. Please share us where you can. And feel free to honestly, please just join in on the conversation with us in the socials and the Discord channel and our Facebook group, everywhere. Just, you're more than welcome to, join in on the conversation and be part of the show. As much as we put the content out here for you, we do this for you. You're just as much inclined to kick back and do the same for us and throw us your questions, your teams, your rosters, all your goofy stuff, whatever it is, sports related, show related. Feel free to hit us up with that. And check out our website. If you like us too, go check out our website, see if there's any merch you'd like to dive into, rep us in your community, in your neighborhoods, at work, at a gathering, at a party, wherever. That would be extremely appreciated. We would enjoy that. And we just hope you tune in with us on Tuesday and stick with us as we gear up for the regular season of the NFL. And that's all I got.
Hey, I hear you there. Couldn't have said it better myself, like you said, guys. So come back and join us Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Same place, same time on Shady Sports Network. This is Fantasy Reports. I'm your bus driver, Cedric. That's the co-pilot, Justin. And we'll bring it back to you. See you guys on Tuesday.
Good night.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.